Hello, welcome to Michelle Sews Again. I'm Michelle. Today I have something really special for you and I hope that you're going to enjoy it. So I have a collaboration to reveal to you and I hope that you enjoy it. I'm so excited about it. So Sara from Knottygnome Crafts and I both ended up purchasing the same fabric. You can see it here. I'm not revealing just yet. So I had bought this fabric from Minerva a month or two ago. I can't remember exactly when yet. And Sara had mentioned, and I showed it in a fabric haul, and Sara had mentioned that she had had her eye on the fabric for a while, and I think that kind of convinced her that she needed to go ahead and buy it. So after she bought it and she received it, she reached out to me and suggested that we do a collaboration, kind of a one fabric, two ways, kind of the same thing that I had done with Yvette from Blossom Sandwich. I love those kind of videos. I love those collaborations because I love to see how different people with different aesthetics interpret or pair up is a better way to explain it. How they pair up a fabric and a pattern. So I'm really excited to see what Sara's going to do. If you're not already subscribed to her, then please go check her out. She is such a delight. She's multifaceted in her crafting abilities. She sews and does very well. She is a big proponent of making sure things fit properly. So she goes on journeys, and she went on a pant fitting journey a while back that just had me fascinated. She knits beautifully, not like little basic stuff like I do. I mean, she knits like full on designed sweaters with intricate patterns in them. So she spins her own yarn. I mean, how amazing is that? I don't have room for more equipment in my house, but that just looks so relaxing and fascinating to me. And so I am the very lucky recipient of one of her hand spun yarns. I was so ecstatic and so surprised when I opened the package. Look how stunning this is. She said that she loves spinning, and so she feels like she has enough in her stash. So she made this and decided that she could part with it, and she sent it to me, and I could not be more grateful. It is just, oh, I gotta find the exact right project for it. It's just absolutely stunning. She also sent me two fat quarters at the same time, and the quality of these is really gorgeous. Like, they feel so nice. Look how cute that one is. It's got horses. It's on this mustard background with those gold crosses. Really pretty. And this one I love. It's got like a vintage 70s feel to it. I just love it. Don't know what I'll do with those yet. I have a handful of fat quarters, so maybe I'll figure something out to do with those things, but love them. So anyway, she also quilts. She recently posted a video where she is contemplating making either a quilted vest or a quilted jacket, and she already has some quilt works in progress that she's decided that she could probably use for a jacket or a vest instead of finishing the quilt. And I mean, you got to go check it out because the pieces are absolutely gorgeous. Anyway, so my multi-talented friend Sara and I have chosen the same fabric, and we've decided to do a one fabric, two ways collaboration. So I have no idea what Sara has made, and she has no idea what I have made. So let's just jump into it. All right, so we both bought the fabric. It's the same exact colorway and everything from Minerva. It's my first ever purchase from Minerva, and I bought this and that. I don't know if you recall, if you watched that fabric haul, but I also got this like light blue, it's called a leather finish jersey, leather finish knit. Anyway, it's a knit fabric that's got this like coated finish on it, so it's kind of shiny and leathery looking. It's so cool. And that was super on sale. So it must not have been popular, but I love it. Anyway, so I bought those 2 fabrics. And so I will tell you from a timing perspective, I was kind of thinking it might take a while because it's coming from the UK to the US. And I ordered it and it had been picked and shipped within a couple of days. And I want to say from the time I ordered it to the time it actually arrived in my mailbox was a little over a week, maybe a week and a half. So really not that long considering the distance, in my opinion. All right. This is a rayon challis from Dashwood Studios, and it's this really colorful, there are, I believe, 3 colorways, and it's this really colorful geometric design. The fabric designer, I want to say her name is Rachel Parker, and I just love this one. This was my favorite colorway. It's just really bright. All the colorways are pretty, but this one was my favorite. It is 100% rayon. It's 55 inches wide. I bought 3 yards. I had no idea what I was going to make with it. I just knew I had to have it. And 3 yards felt like a good enough amount that I could make just about anything that I wanted, except maybe a maxi dress. All right, so here's the burning question. What did I make? I'm going to make you wait a minute because I have to take you through the journey. It was such a tough decision. So I am not usually very indecisive. I can usually like decide on something and like just I go with it. I might change my mind. So if I don't act on it right away, I might change my mind and do something else by the time I get around to it. But if I make up my mind and then I get started, it's usually like pretty quick. I could not decide on this because I wanted to make something that was interesting, but I also wanted to make something that I would reach for often and that wouldn't just sit in my closet for like special occasions because I love this fabric so much. It's so beautiful. It's like, it's just happiness on a piece of fabric. You know, I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. It's just happiness. So I wanted to make something that I knew I would reach for on a regular basis. So what I did was I went through my Trello and I looked at everything and I contemplated and, you know, all this stuff. Well, I narrowed it down to 7 choices. Yeah, 7. So what I usually do in those situations is I reach out to my friends on Instagram or my friends on YouTube and I ask you guys to vote. Well, I couldn't do that this time because Sara couldn't know what I was making. So I reached out to my sewing buddies that I went on my sewcation with, Jen, Heather, Maddie, and Carmen. And don't you know, they were no help because all 4 of them picked something different. So it didn't help me narrow it down at all. But Maddie had a really good idea and she suggested that I put all the numbers in a hat and pick a number from the hat. So, which was fine because I would have been happy with any of these 7 choices. I just couldn't decide which one. So I did what Maddie said and I wrote down numbers 1 through 7. I numbered all the dresses and I threw the numbers in a hat. I shook it up. I reached in, I pulled one out and the number 6 came out of the hat. So that means that I made another Cali dress. The Cali dress is actually the only one on this list that I have already made. That's not true. I made the Valley top from Pattern Fantastique. So there were 2 of the 7 that I've already made. The Cali dress, obviously I made that recently. I made it with one of my tie-dye fabrics and the only thing that I didn't love about it was just way too big. So what I decided to do this time is I had I had a dress that I had seen on Anthropologie's website that I have wanted to make. And I knew that the Cali dress would be the starting point for that dress. So I'll pop the picture up here of the Anthro inspiration. So I took that inspiration and turned my Cali kind of into that. The only difference really is the sleeve length. So I hacked my Cali. So what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna get into great detail on the Cali because I've already done a review on that, and I'll link that up in the cards here. But I'll talk you through the hack that I did. So I made the Cali almost 90% the same way that I made it last time. The difference is I sized down. So the last time I made a size 24, and if you recall, if you watched that video, I had quite a bit of ease in the waist. I thought originally that all I needed to do was grade it in at the waist, but what I decided to do was just make the straight 22. And you guys, that was the perfect size for me. So it is still loose, so it's got ease in it, so I don't feel like it's clinging to all of my lumps and bumps. But it's not so big that it just looks like a sack of potatoes, at least not to me. As far as the hack goes, notice that in the Cali Dress, I'll put the line drawings up here, it's got a really deep curved hem, like not split hem because it's a curved hem. So it's a high-low hem and it's very curved on the sides. And you finish that with a bias tape binding, which is brilliant actually. So instead of that, I took my pattern piece, I folded those curved hems up, and that was the starting point. I cut the dress straight across instead of the curved hems. And then I took whatever fabric I had left over and I cut it in half. So it was folded. Like I said, it's 55 inches from selvage to selvage. And I didn't measure, so I can't tell you, well, I guess I could measure this. I'll measure my ruffle and I'll put the measurements up on the screen. But I basically took whatever I had left. I cut off like the jiggy jaggy pieces from the other pattern pieces I'd cut out so that I had a big rectangle, and then I cut that in half so that I could match that up and make one big huge ruffle, if that makes sense. And that's all I did. So then I made the Cali dress, everything else the way that I had made it the first time. I will tell you, the burrito method, I do like the burrito method, but where last time, remember, I did something backwards and my shirt buttons and my placket ended up on the wrong sides, which who cares? It was harder for me to tell because my fabric was dyed. So looking at the right side and the wrong side was not super obvious. This, obviously, the wrong side is obvious, right? Because it's not dyed all the way through. So I had to unpick the yoke because I didn't get to the burrito yet. I had sewn on both pieces of the yoke, and was it the yoke? Yeah. I had to unpick it and sew it and unpick it like 3 times before I got it right. I was just having a mental blank. So I did it twice in one night, and that's when I realized, okay, I need to put this to bed. I need to put me to bed. And then I came back at it the next day, did it wrong one more time, and then I got it right. That's all on me, because once I read through the directions and actually paid attention, the directions were right. Anyway, so that was the only snafu I had, and again, that was user error. For the skirt, for the ruffle, I just sewed the 2 pieces together on the short ends. I used the elastic method for attaching the ruffle that I learned from Sam at Frugalissima. I will link that video below. Some people prefer the basting stitch method on really big gatherings. I don't like that. I'm not good at getting the gathers to be evenly spaced. So for big, huge pieces of ruffle, I prefer the elastic method. So that's what I used, and I will link her video below. Okay, so as far as the fabric goes, it's beautiful, but it's a little touchy. So I'm gonna insert a picture here. I didn't have a lot of trouble with it. So in terms of like putting it together, I didn't have trouble with the, with the edges. I mean, they frayed, the edges frayed, but everything is either serged or it is enclosed. So my side seams are serged, but obviously the yoke is burrito method, so those are all enclosed. Yeah, so I didn't have any problems with the edges. Where I had trouble was when I put in my buttonholes, the fabric, and like I said, I'll insert a picture. The fabric looks like it's got little tiny pulls in it, and it's on every single buttonhole. And my needle was new. I don't know what I could have done differently. My buttonhole thing was working fine. There was nothing seemed to be snagging. It seemed to be working fine. And then I ended up with these little pulls. In the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal because they're only obvious when you're up close. And I don't think anyone would notice if I didn't point it out. But I mean, the fabric was like $17.99 a yard. I don't know what that converts to in US dollars. I'll figure it out and put it up here. But I mean, it's not inexpensive fabric, you know? I know that Dashwood is supposed to be really good quality fabric, so I'm not giving up on Dashwood Studios, but I was a little bit disappointed in that. Luckily, it's a very patterned fabric, so it's not obvious, but if this was a solid fabric, I think that would show. So I don't know, have you used Dashwood fabrics in the past, and do you have any issues? This is the rayon challis, so I don't know if the fabric type makes a difference as well, but I would love to hear your thoughts as to whether or not you have encountered any issues with Dashwood Studio fabrics. Let me know. Anyway, so I will put up some pictures here of me in my Cali dress, my hacked Cali dress. I love my little ruffle, and I will wear this. I wore this all day to work today at my desk in my home office. And yeah, I mean, this is an easy dress to wear. I'll throw it on and I'll wear it often. All right, so I'm gonna throw some pictures up here of me wearing the dress. I've styled it a couple of different ways for you because that's what my friend Sara does. She's really good at styling her outfits. My first picture here, I'm wearing it with some leopard print Vans. They're actually not Vans, I believe they're Steve Madden, but you get the idea, because I consider animal prints a neutral. So I think they go with everything. So yes, I wore my leopard print Vans, Steve Madden's, with this, and I think that looks really cute. And in fact, that will probably be the way that I wear this the most often. And I paired it with some fun green chandelier earrings, which is even extra fun because I used these green buttons, so it matches up with my buttons very well. So that is the first styling. The second one is if I want to dress it a little bit nicer. I have some gold strappy wedges that I got years ago from Sundance catalog. The wedge is kind of covered in this suede, like a beige suede fabric, and then the straps are this metallic gold. I just love them so much. When I got rid of most of my shoes before I moved from Philly to Miami, I got rid of any heels that were heels. The only heels that I have in my closet are wedges because they're comfy. So I styled them here with the gold wedges. I think they look cute. And then I went one more time back to my leopard print flat sneakers and styled it with a denim jacket. So I don't layer a whole lot, but I just thought this would be like the perfect vehicle to wear my denim jacket, which is ready to wear. I bought it years ago from Kohl's. It's a cute one. It's got a selvage edge, so the hem is like raveled. Is that the right description? You know what I'm trying to say. And it's a stretch denim, so it's super comfy. Anyway, so yeah, that's how I styled it. Let me know what you think. Do you like the Cali with the extra ruffle hack? Are you inspired to hack something yourself? What do you think about the fabric? Have you ever made anything with Dashwood Studio fabric? What do you think? Let me know. I love all your comments, so bring it on. And please, please, please go check out Sara if you didn't check her out first. Maybe you came to me from Sara, and if you did, thank you so much. I'm very grateful. So go say hi to Sara, tell her I sent you, and wherever you are, I hope the weather's amazing, and I hope you're able to get some sewing in. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.